Hi, I'm chess coach Mandy. Many beginners suffer from scholar's mate. In this video, I will share with you how to punish scholar's mate and get a winning position. Let's begin. Usually, the game will start with e4, e5, and now white will usually move the queen to h5. This is a very aggressive move because the queen now is trying to attack the e5 pawn and at the same time try to add more pressure on f7 pawn. Many beginners will make the first mistake here as they really want to get the queen away, so they may push the pawn to g6 or move the knight to f6 in order to kick the queen away. Both of the responses are not good. For example, if the pawn pushed to g6, the queen can just capture the pawn and attacking the rook and the king at the same time. After we block with the knight, the queen can easily get the rook back. If we use the knight to attack the queen instead, the queen can still get the free pawn, and our king is also under attack. So in this position, our best move is knight to c6. Try to protect the pawn and develop the knight at the same time. And now, white will move the bishop to c4. This is a very classical structure of scholar's mate, as the queen and the bishop are attacking the f7 pawn, and the queen can go to f7 for checkmate in the next move. At this moment, many chess beginners will make a very serious mistake moving the knight to f6 in order to attack the queen. However, now white can move the queen to f7 to do the checkmate, and we will lose our game. So instead of moving the knight to f6, the thing we need to do is trying to protect this f7 pawn or try to block the queen. Some of the beginners will move the queen to f6 or e7, but I'm not recommend that because it will block the knight or bishop, and it is harder to develop our piece. In this case, I will suggest you to push the pawn to g6. So the white have to move the queen away immediately. Most of the players will retreat the queen to f3, because the queen still can trying to add pressure on f7 and creating the checkmate threat. And now we can choose to develop our knight to f6 or queen to f6. In this case, I would suggest you to develop the knight because we don't want to trade the queen so early and get a draw position. And now, white will have two main attacking ideas. One is moving the queen to b3 so that the bishop can check on f7 in the next move. The second idea is trying to push the pawn to g4 so that pawn can attack on g5 in the next move. So if white try to move the queen to b3 to attack our pawn, the best move is not trying to protect the f7 pawn. Instead, we can try to develop our knight to d4 to attack the queen. If white still want to deliver the check, we can move our king to e7. So now our knight is still attacking the white queen. The queen have to protect the bishop and keep the queen safe, so the queen can only go to c4. In this case, we have a very good attacking move, pawn to b5 to attack the queen. Unfortunately, white doesn't have any good square for queen, so if the queen go for a check, and then our king can capture the bishop and get some material back. If white is still being greedy and capture our e5 pawn, now our knight can go for c2 to deliver a check and also attacking the rook at the same time. And this is a winning position for us. Go back to the previous position. If white do not moving the queen to b3, but pushing the pawn to g4, in this position, we have to be more careful because we can't make any random move. For example, if we just develop our bishop, now the pawn can attack the knight, and our knight can't go anywhere because the queen can do a checkmate in the next move. So in this position, there is a very strong move for us, that is moving the knight to d4. Now, the queen can't capture the knight because our queen is protecting the knight. Now, if queen go to any other square, for example, queen to d3, and then our knight can just capture the g4 pawn. So if white want to protect this pawn, he must moving the queen back to d1. And now, white has a very strong move, that is moving the pawn to d5. If white just capture our pawn, we can move our bishop to g4 and attack the queen at the same time. In this position, white can choose to block with the knight or bishop, but such moves are really passive and white usually will not choose that. The strongest move for white is now pawn to f3. In this case, we no need to retreat our bishop. We can just move our knight to e4 to allow the queen go to h4 to create a checkmate threat. For example, if pawn capture g4, our queen can go to h4 and the king run away. Now that is a checkmate for us.